Okay, most simple interval session that you could possibly do in order to burn as much fat as possible and build speed, get faster, so that whatever you're training for, whether 5K, 10K, or marathon, whatever, you're going to get better. You're gonna get faster, you're gonna get stronger too, and you're going to build muscle in the big power muscles, the glutes, and definitely the hamstrings, and also the quads, which are going to, when built, again, burn more fat. So you've got this two thing where you go in to do interval session, that's super effective and efficient to burn fat. You're getting faster at the same time, which is helping you to burn more fat. And also you're building the muscles, the big muscles in your body. And the bigger those muscles, the more fat you're gonna burn. So you've got all these things happening at once, which creates this lean, strong athlete, which is fast and efficient moving over the ground. Super important. Now, this is gonna be super simple, so I'm not gonna overcomplicate it, and you can think of the progressions from here and we'll talk about them at the end of the video. So all you're gonna do is, and it's more important than ever, you're gonna go out there and you're going to walk for the first 400, 500 meters. That's gonna take you 4 or 5 minutes. You've gotta make sure that you are ready and properly warmed up in order to run fast and run a paced effort for these intervals that we're gonna discuss. The reason it's so important is because of all the sessions that you do, the recovery runs, the easy runs, the long run, and the interval session, running fast is one of the times when you're most likely to get injured. That doesn't mean that it needs to be risky. It just means that you need to put the things in place in order to get your body ready to run fast, so that it's not a shock to the body, so that you're warmed up properly. So that warm up is gonna take 12 to 15 minutes. For me, I get it to about 12 minutes, but that's walking 400-500 meters, 400-500 meters, then I'll go into a really slow jog for another 500-600 meters. So at that point, I've ran a kilometer super slow, and what I'm doing in those first 10 minutes, in the walk and super slow run, is I'm checking my body. What am I doing? Am I recovered from the last session? How are my legs feeling? How are the muscles feeling? Is there any tightness? And then after those 10 minutes, I'm gonna do some dynamic stretching. And that consists of literally leg swings, where I'm kind of opening up the hip flexors. I'm also, when I swing the leg back, I'm engaging the glute, because I'm just telling the power muscles, the big glutes, that they're gonna be doing the majority of the work to push me over the ground when I'm running fast. And if you can get that relation, great. Big quads, strong hamstrings, and fast feet, you've got great, like a train, you've got great pistons and great axles, right? Super important, so big power muscles and fast feet. So after that, then I'll start to do some strides and gradually get a little bit faster and a little bit faster, but it will be gradual. And then what I'll do is I'll know the interval session in advance, and what I'll do is I'll do 50 to 75% of that first interval, so that I don't skip anything from that interval session. If that's 10 sets or 10 reps or 15 reps or 20 reps, I don't want to get any of those for free. I want to be paying for all of them. I want to be getting the super compensation, the improvement from all of those. So in the warm-up, I'm going to do 1 or 2 of those at 50% or 75%. So if I'm doing 2-minute intervals, that'll be a minute or a minute and a half running at the pace that I'm intending to run at during the interval. Super important, because you don't want to get shortchanged on that session. You want to get the full session, the full benefits, yeah? So once I've done that and I feel, right, okay, ready to go, by that point, the end of the warm-up, you should be sweating already, because you will have been putting the hard work in towards the end of that warm-up in order to get you there, in order to get you ready for the interval session. Super important. A lot of people kind of just go straight into it, and that's when niggles and then injuries, Catch just walked past the camera, that's when niggles and injuries occur, and that's when you need to be risk adverse. You need to look at your curve, short, medium, long term, and be like, I want to move in this direction. It's not going to be straight, it's going to be like this, but you want to be moving forward. And to do that, you want to keep away from illness and keep away from injury. Super important for the warm-up. Then all you're going to do is you're going to run minute intervals. And you can start, if you've never done interval training before, do 10 times 1 minute with 60 seconds walk in between. So you need to be thinking in your head, okay, never done intervals before, I'm going to try to pace these so I can hold. For the first minute and second minute, I can hold those interval paces exactly the same for the 9th and 10th rep. Yeah, exactly the same in the gym. If you're going to go on a chest press machine, you're going to do 5 reps of 10 or whatever it is. You want to be doing a weight that you can hold throughout, unless you're doing progressions, right? And in this, we're trying to keep the pace the same, because what you want to do over the weeks and months is gradually go, okay, 10, I can do 10 times a minute, then I can do 12, then I can do 15, then I can do 18, then I can do 20. And guess what? The pace is increasing, but I'm able to pace so that my first and second are around about the same pace as my last. And it's harder to judge that when you're running short distances like a minute. But you have to go off effort. You can't go off pace, you go off effort. So if you go off effort, you'll realize this feels like, okay, this feels like my probably 10K race pace or my 5K race pace. And that's great. If you can pace that, and then during the recovery, when you stop running after that minute, you recover as quick as you can during that walk. That's a great tool to have. Because if you can take in oxygen, take in air, out through the nose, in through the mouth, and recover as much as you can, so your heart rate is going from here to here, and you knock in 30 or 40 beats, then you're ready to go again. That quality improves of each of those 1 minute intervals. Exactly the same as you move up, and later on you'll do 2 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute intervals. It's exactly the same. You're gonna keep that rest always at 60 seconds. And it might be an active 60 seconds where you're jogging really slowly. It might be an active rest where you're walking, like we're gonna do the first session, or it might be complete standstill and not active. You're just literally getting your breath back. What that will do for you, you're learning how to run fast. You're building, it's a strength session, you're building power muscles, yeah? You're learning how to pace, but also you're learning how to recover. And why that's so powerful is if you go off too quick, or if you go into the red zone in a race, in a 5K race, 10K race, a marathon, whatever it is you're training for, this is gonna teach you how you can, okay, let's move back a little bit, let's calm down, let's bring the heart rate down, and then go again. If you can learn to do that, it's a superpower in distance running. It's gonna really help you finish every race and be like, going into the red, calm down, don't panic, just drop back a little bit, run 30 seconds or 45 seconds less for the next kilometer or the next mile. Doesn't matter, it's only a small amount in terms of the loss that I would make if I kept on it going at this pace and then hit the wall. Very, 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 very powerful thing to learn how to do. And then you're gonna do those 10 times a minute, pace them. The key is to keep in control of an interval session. So you're not going too into the red. Your style is good. So you're driving your arms. Everything is aligned. So you're driving your arms straight. The toe, ankle, knee, hip is all aligned, and that happens very, very easily if you're driving your arms. And then you're trying to hit the ground well. So when you're running fast, same as when you're running easy recovery runs and also your long run, practice your running. So are you landing mid-foot? If you're landing on your toes, you're putting too much stress on your Achilles and your calves. If you're landing on your heel, you're sending a jolt through your skeletal system. Yeah, and it's not going to have a great effect on your knees. So if you're landing mid-foot, and again, you're building those glutes, you're building the hamstring strength, and then you're landing mid-foot and you're able to have a fast transition from the mid-foot to the toe, you're building a great little engine and a great way to move smooth, light, and fast over the ground. And that's the key. You're learning to move over the ground as efficiently and effectively as possible. So once you increase those intervals, you increase the long run, you increase the total volume, you're doing it in the right way because you've learned how to run. It's a great way to test your running because when you're running fast, same with hill training, your body is going to try to make that as easy as possible for you. It's a human instinct. So your glutes are going to kick in because guess what, boys? We're going to need to be in charge of this session because that's the only way we're going to run as fast as we can for a minute and do that 10 times. And once you pick up that and you start to learn it, and it takes a while, like maybe 30 to 45 days in order to get that habit, in order to be running in the right way. Once you've got it, you're not going to want to go back because you'll know that the old way was inefficient, was ineffective compared to what you've got now. Always be moving forward. Always be trying to get the very best of your body and work in an optimal way. If you've got any, I should have said it 10 minutes ago, but if you've got anything from this, and if you're struggling with your interval sessions and you need help, put a comment, ask me anything you want and I'll answer it. I love your questions. I love hearing from you. Hope you're having a great Christmas.